610 WTVN.
Talk to our good friend, TexasDefenseFirm.com. It's Dallas attorney Jeremy Rosenthal. Man, you had a little pep in your step since Saturday when your Texas Tech Red Raiders took care of BYU.
Man, I'll tell you what, the Red Raider in me wants to just sort of like not believe this or just kind of pick up on we still have the too many pre-snap penalties. But I'll tell you what, man, with this playoff bracket, we could have, the Sooners coming to town. We could be playing the fighting Texas Aggies. A lot of our villains who, we're too cool for the Big 12. We're about to see what that's about.
I think if the playoffs were today, JR, you'd face Miami at number 11. But, you're sitting just outside the top 5 at 6, and you got UCF this weekend, 3:30 game on Fox. You're looking at a 10-win season starting this weekend.
Yeah. Well, we've got West Virginia on the road in the rain, in the cold, and there's absolutely positively nothing that could potentially go wrong there ever at all, ever.
No, what could possibly go wrong? No, absolutely.
In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and buy my tickets right now to Pasadena or wherever. Right. So, yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. And you got the cash. That's disposable income for you. You can handle that. No problem. So that's a little fun. I do want to get into a couple of serious topics, some legal topics with you this morning. And this is just heartbreaking when you see what's going on with some of these teen suicides on, using AI and ChatGPT. And, part of the problem is kids are using these tools as companionship. They're going on to this and they're talking to these chatbots like they're real people, which of course they're not. And in these cases, they're talking about being depressed and they're considering hurting themselves. And the chatbots don't discourage them. In fact, they do quite the opposite. And now you're seeing some lawsuits. How does this play out?
This is Frankenstein's monster. It just is. You create something, you don't know how it's going to work. You create it to sort of be life. Right, and then it goes crazy, and then it hurts people. And what do you do at that point? And are you at fault? Was this foreseeable? And yes, some of the stories are absolutely heartbreaking. In one instance, some of the very last words from the chatbot to the person was "Adios, spaceman. See you on the other side." In some instances, they were teaching people how to tie a noose to hang themselves with. And just again, so they made these things to engage people, to socially engage people, right? And the arguments here against OpenAI is that, look, guys, we know that AI is a supersonic moneymaker, right? We know that this is the next best thing, next biggest thing, and we know all these other companies are trying to compete to get that to that top slot. And basically, ChatGPT, OpenAI, you guys just sort of rounded third, didn't look at the coach. You guys just had to win. And this is the price that you pay. You cut corners, you did it faster, you wanted to corner the market, but this was what went wrong. But again, the issue is was it foreseeable that this could happen? And it's really hard to say that it's not when you just take this product that's designed to have a life of its own and engage people like this. It's hard to say that this couldn't have happened.
It really is. And what is OpenAI's response to these lawsuits? Are they saying, this is a personal responsibility issue where you should have, the parents need to be more involved with their kids. This is not our problem. This is your problem. What's their response been?
I think they want this to go away. They've come out and said, look, this is horrific, this is tragic, and they've said that they're building everything that they can do into their mousetrap to make sure that these things get caught. That when somebody talks about self-harm, when somebody talks this way to one of their bots, that it gets flagged, that it gets reported, that they get to help. So they've taken some steps and measures to try to fix this going forward. And I think that when you really look at it, it strikes the core of what their product really is, right? Your product has to be trustworthy. As a lawyer, if I'm using ChatGPT, what I've experienced is if I'm asking for legal documents and authority, about a third of it's wrong. right? Because it's hallucinating, it's not doing it, and they're doing their best to fix that. But it's that reputation that makes me not want to use it at all. And they know that if people that if their product has this reputation of just being crazy or psychotic or sycophantic or something like that, that people aren't going to want to use it. They have every incentive to settle and to give these people what they want and to get this thing out of the headlines.
Dallas attorney Jeremy Rosenthal, TexasDefenseFirm.com. Another sad story. Back on 4th of July this year, the Camp Mystic, just a tragic situation there at that summer camp, and the flooding, the Guadalupe River there down in your backyard, really. And there's some lawsuits there. The families of 13 of the girls who did not survive that flood at the camp are suing the camp. What's going on there?
You have 27 victims from Camp Mystic. That includes counselors, that includes campers. Horrifically tragic. Everybody's going to deal with the loss in a different way. I'm sure if you were to talk to some of the families, they probably never want to hear or see this again, right? Others are going to be conciliatory. Others are going to be just angry. So the plaintiffs in this case are basically saying, look, this was preventable. Even if it's an act of God, acts of God are foreseeable, right? You live in Tornado Alley, you know to have a basement, right? And you know when to go and go for safety. Some of the cabins were in clearly not very good places. At least one cabin had to have been evacuated before, and some of the policies were confusing or didn't make sense, if you believe what the plaintiffs are saying about it, saying that the camp counselors weren't authorized to evacuate the kids even when there's something clearly not right happening. So a lot of those things are sort of the subject of it. And you're always asking when you're a lawyer, you're always asking, where's the money, right? Where's the money going to come from here? A lawsuit is functionally drilling for oil, and you're looking for that pocket of product, right? So where is it here, right? Is it the insurance money? Is it the real estate? Individuals make really poor targets for lawsuit, but clearly there's at least some of these families that want something done here.
And you can't blame them. I mean, you've got young girls in cabins sitting in flood-prone areas. The flood sirens were going off. Nobody took action. The safety plans were less than adequate. I mean, this seems like a pretty slam dunk situation for the plaintiffs in this case, but we'll have to watch that one. I got about a minute left, Jeremy. Supreme Court will not revisit the same-sex marriage situation. Good call, bad call. Does it make a difference at this point?
I think it's a big deal for the LGBTQ community, but it may be a temporary win. This was a very poor case to try to overturn it, and I think that's functionally, if for no other reason, that's why it got turned down. This was the case of the Kentucky clerk who would not issue same-sex marriage license. She got hit with a really massive lawsuit. The legal issue in that case is really, if you're an elected official, can you ignore the law? That was really the issue here, not same-sex marriage. They wanted the Supreme Court to overturn same-sex marriage, but this was not the right case to really evaluate that in a meaningful way. So not a lot of people are surprised that it got turned down, but a temporary victory, if nothing else, for the LGBTQ community.